How's it going, guys? My name's Stephen, and in the background is my 1986 Volkswagen Scirocco that we saved from the scrap pile. Now, I've always loved a classic Volkswagen. Ever since I was a young kid, I've loved Mark II Golfs, Mark I Golfs, Volkswagen Beetles, everything. And when I seen this 1986 Volkswagen Scirocco down at Burnham's Auto Salvage, I knew we had to try and save it. But it came with a few problems. As you've seen in previous videos, this was lifted down off the top of a shipping container using straps which bent the roof. So we managed to pull down the damage. I wanted to make sure it was all repairable before we went any further with the project. So the first thing I done was attempt to pull out the roof damage. Then the next stage was to make sure the car wasn't covered in rot. So we removed all the body kit, checked all the sills, removed all the front suspension, we treated all the rust in the engine bay, we've done a wee bit of welding in the engine bay, and obviously we've still got some welding to do, but I think we've found the worst of the rot, and I know that this vehicle is still salvageable, and on the outside it still looks pretty good. So there's one last problem that we need to deal with before I can move on with the project, and I need to know what's going on with this. So this is the engine that we took out of the Scirocco, and it's supposed to be a 1.6 GT. This has actually got a 1.8 engine in it, so it has been tampered with before. It's obviously not in the best shape. We did actually get it running in one video previous to this. Right, on you go. We'll try again. But I don't have any service history. I don't know if this has been well maintained or if it's been looked after. The timing belt looks very old. So even though it ran, I want this to be as reliable as possible. So one of the major decisions I need to make with this car is, do we rebuild this engine? Do I buy all the stuff to make this engine good? Or do we look at upgrading it and putting something else in it? So in this video, I want to get this cleaned up, I want to get it stripped down, open it all up, have a good look at everything inside it, make sure the pistons are okay, we can have a look at the cam and make sure there's no wear on that. I know there's no bottom end rattle off the crank, so that's also good, because we did have it running, but we might take the sump off anyway and just have a look. There's no signs of any oil leak, it's actually pretty good looking, it's just been sitting for a long time. So let's get this stripped down, get it outside, we'll get it cleaned first and take it from there. First things first, before we do anything, I want to get this cleaned. So I'm going to hit it with some super degreaser and then we'll throw the pressure washer at it, and then we can just get all the crap off it and make it nice and easy to work on, and we can get this tore down, have a decent look at it and see if the engine's savable or if it's for the bin. Guys, there we go, this is cleaned up much better. It's going to be so much easier to work on now. I've even freed up the alternator, gave it a wee hit with a hammer and power washed it and it started moving, but that's going to need replaced anyway. But yeah, I can actually touch this now without getting covered in crap, so let's start stripping it down. I think the first thing I'll do is drain the oil and we'll have a wee look at what the oil's like. Right, here goes, let's see what it's like. I actually thought the sump was really badly corroded, but it turns out it's mainly just crap that was on it. It's actually not too bad. So, when I spilt some gearbox oil, that actually looked brand new, so I'm hoping this has got fresh fluids as well, but we'll see. No, pretty old. Pretty old and pretty dirty. Right, well that's draining down, we'll get to stripping some of the rest of it. I'll probably start by taking the big stuff off, like the alternator. This fuel vapour canister thing, this is going to be getting replaced, so we'll pull that off. I'll pull the inlet manifold and exhaust manifold off it and get it into a bare block, and then we can play with the timing and stuff, and we'll get the head off as well. And just get a real good look at everything that's going on. This pipe has seen better days, so I'm going to have to try and source one of these. This is very crusty. All of the pipe work I'm going to be new, because the vacuum lines have all been sort of replaced with whatever was lying about at the time. The fuel pipes are all like just crap, absolute crap. So we'll bin all of that, all new stuff. We'll get some new radiator hoses as well. This is like a universal one that somebody's threw on. Obviously done the job at the time, but it's not what I'm looking for. So we'll get it all pulled apart. We'll get all new stuff. Get a state of that forward work. And the water pump, look, this has got more silicone around it, more evidence that this has belonged to a plumber or a heating engineer or something like that. If you haven't seen it already, go back and watch one of the other videos where we stripped the interior, and if I've got a picture of it or a clip of it, I'll put it on the screen now, but we actually found a load of copper pipe and a load of copper wire mashed up and rolled together to make some kind of homemade makeshift heater matrix. So who knows if it worked at the time, but yeah, it was definitely a plumber that engineered that. So that won't be going back in either. We'll get a nice new one for that, and yeah, hopefully we'll get this car back to its former glory. I kind of want to save this engine. Another good thing to do, because I don't know how long this is going to be in bits, is just take some pictures so you know where everything goes. Right, so first up we'll go for getting the alternator off, because that's just a big lumpy component that's getting in the way. Everything's coming off fairly easy as well, like it's been off before. I just took the distributor off because I was on a phone call and I got carried away, and it came off dead easy as well. Obviously I marked the position it was in first before I took it off, so we've got our distributor off, we've got our alternator off. Next we'll probably get rid of this fuel pipe and vapour canister thing. And in a way I kind of hope this engine's savable. For a start it will be a lot easier and a lot cheaper just to do a whole gasket kit on this. I'll send the head away to get pressure tested and skimmed as well, but yeah, it would save buying another engine, it would save going down the conversion route. Because at the end of the day, as much as I love this car, and I really enjoy the process of building it, it is a sales car, so we are going to be selling it, and maybe one of you guys might even buy it. So I want to make this as quick and painless as possible. If I can just refresh this engine, make it nice coat of paint, get the bay nice and painted again, get it all looking pretty, that'll be a win for me and a win for you. Right, there we go, hose is off. There's a wee bit of crust in there, but nothing too major. We'll take this one off as well. That will then allow us to take the water pump off the front. Oh, this pipe is crusty inside. As I'm squeezing it, I can just feel the inside of it collapsing and breaking down, so yeah, definitely new pipes all round for this, 100%. Let's get this wee housing off. This feels a bit, oh, a new sketchy. That's our first bolt snapped. We'll be drilling and tapping one at least. Never mind. Good old fashioned mechanical fuel pump that runs off of the shaft itself. While we're on the front here, I think we'll see if we can get the water pump off the front as well. There we go, the engine's all broken down to a bare block. As you can see, the front's all stripped as well, back's all stripped. All we need to do now is get this rocker cover off. I've already marked the timing up. I've not actually set it to the correct marks because I've not got any timing covers with the marks on it at the minute. I've not loaded up auto data either, so I've marked it where it's sitting just now, and that'll be more than enough to get this stripped down. But let's get this rocker cover off and see what's lurking inside. Hopefully it's not too bad. Right, let's have a look. Right, so still got the baffles in there. Looks a little bit crusty. Looks a little bit crusty in here, but it's an old car, we expect that. Let's see how it looks under the baffles. You're looking at it. Yeah, it's a little bit dirty, it's a little bit carbony, a little bit crusty, but the actual wear on the camshaft lobes actually looks okay, looks pretty decent. There's nothing scaring me at the moment. This all looks fairly good so far. Happy with that. Right, let's get the timing belt off and undo the head bolts. Right guys, before I pull the head off, make sure you jump into the comments and let me know what you guys would do in this situation. Would you refresh this engine with a new gasket set and get the head skimmed? We know the top's good, but we don't know what's underneath yet. Or would you upgrade it to something a bit more modern, fuel injection, bit more power? I don't know, let me know what you guys think. And while you're in there, if you could hit that thumbs up button, that would be awesome, because it will help the algorithm spread it to more like-minded people, and we'll get more people joining the community and watching the Scirocco build. So let's get the head off and find out what's lurking underneath. Right, let's start by getting the belt off. We'll just loosen the tension up, and this will relax the belt. This is all going to get replaced because that tensioner's all pitted and scored as well. Slide the belt off. An old Goodyear belt. Who knows how long that's been on there, but obviously we'll be putting a nice fresh belt on it. Right, let's see if we can loosen these head bolts. It's not too tight. one's a bit tighter. I'm curious to see how this looks under here. I don't know why, I've got a feeling that looking at the rest of it and looking at the mileage that's on the car, I think it might be okay. Right guys, here we go, moment of truth. All the head bolts are out. Oh, that lifted easy. Oh wow. Right, this head gasket looks just about brand new. This looks like it's never been run with this head gasket. Let's see if I can give you guys a closer look. Look at that. That head gasket looks brand new. And the tops of the pistons, a little bit sooty, but there's no free play on any of them. They all seem really good. The underside of the head's pretty clean as well. Underside of the head's fairly clean looking too. So yeah, this isn't looking too bad. Let's grab a torch and see what the bores look like. I tell you what. These look pretty good. There's even still some crosshatch in there, you can still see it. There's a wee pitted bit at the top of the stroke there. There's a little bit more pitting at the top of this one. But for a car that's never ran for as long as this looks okay. Super happy with that. This just makes me more inclined to order a gasket kit, get the head checked and go for there. So guys, looking at this, I'm okay with this. I think the pistons look okay. I don't feel any slop. Everything feels okay when I rotate it. Is it worth breaking the sump seal because it isn't leaking and I don't want to start it leaking? I don't want to take off the front main seal because it's not been leaking. The rear main seal's not leaking. It actually looks fairly new. So I think I'm actually at a point where I don't want to disturb anything else. I think what I'll do, I mean, even look at these cord plugs. Cord plugs look like they've been replaced at some point as well. There's no a huge amount of corrosion, they feel solid. So yeah, I think these have been replaced at some point as well. There is a point on a job where you can actually cause yourself problems, and that's the last thing I want to do with this. So looking at that bottom end, that looks fine. Looking at the head, it looks like it just needs a good clean. There's no any excessive wear on the cam lobes or anything. There's nothing scaring me in there at all. It just needs a good clean. So I'm thinking we'll salvage this engine, clean it all up, get it nicely painted and put this back in the car. We'll get a carb rebuild done. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've rebuilt a carb, so I might give that to somebody to do, somebody that does them regularly, because there's all sorts of needles and stuff need set up and all that kind of stuff. So I'll leave that for a professional, I think. But yeah, so far so good. I'm pleased with that. Pleased with that. But this isn't the only Volkswagen engine I need to do this to. If you guys have been regular viewers of the channel, you'll know that we're going to be giving away this Audi A4. This has also got a head gasket problem. It's pretty much the same engine as what we've just stripped, except this one's a bit more modern. It's got fuel injection and a few other bits and bobs, but bare block wise it's very similar. So we're going to have to strip that down at some point as well, get that head skimmed because that does need a gasket, it's super blown. But yeah, I might end up stripping that one as well, sending the two heads down to Gilmore's engineering and get him to do both of them, and that's him done. But I think I'm happy with this engine. I think we'll get it cleaned up, we'll get it painted, rebuild it, make it look nice and fresh. Then we'll get the engine bay painted, and then we'll slot a nice refreshed engine back in. We'll also refresh the gearbox as well. The only problem I could find with the gearbox is this little end cap. It was showing a bit of rust and I poked it and it started leaking gearbox oil. And the gearbox oil looked brand spanking new. So I've ordered a new cap for it. It's coming. So I think we'll get that power washed, we'll get that cleaned up. Like I said, it looks like brand new gearbox oil that's in it, but I'll replace it anyway. We'll change that end cap and then we'll just drop a nice fully refreshed unit straight back into a nicely painted engine bay. So hopefully you'll see that in the video very, very soon. I might get the bay done while I'm waiting on the head being skimmed. But yeah, for this video, that's pretty much going to be it, guys. I wanted to make sure this was good to go. This was the last big decision I have to make on the Scirocco. Everything else now is plain sailing. We just get stuck in, get the work done, and hopefully we'll get it on the road in the next, who knows, few weeks, couple of months, as quick as possible. Because like I said, it is a sales car. I need to get it up for sale, but I can't sell it the way it sits. So thanks again for watching, guys. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you drop me a comment, and I'll see you in the next one.